Will you make money from Skool? That is the question. And in this video, I'll be covering how I pick my partners. So I'll be showing you the things I look at when somebody applies to be a partner of mine and somebody who wants to work with me. I'll show you the things I look at to see if they are able to sell an info product. And this is mostly statistical stuff, but if you pay attention, then you can really learn how you should orient your media channels to sell an info product in the most effective way. Now, for those of you who don't know what I do, I am an operator. That means I partner with creators to make sure that they make as much money as possible from selling their info products. And this takes a big load off their back, so that makes it that they can focus on making the product as high quality as is possible. Now, the first thing I want to say is that it's all about content. If your content is bad, then the chances of you successfully selling an info product significantly decrease. And the goal of this video is to give you an idea of the value of your audience. What I mean by that is knowing how much each of your followers is worth. For some people it's maybe $100, for some people it's practically nothing. And so I want to give you an idea based on me showing you all these things, how much your audience really is worth, and it's supposed to give you an idea of how much money you can make. But I have to give a couple of notes here. The first is that you can't max out every multiplier. As you will see, there's a base value and there are multipliers. These multipliers just multiply your base value to see how much money you can make. What I mean with customer value is that it is your optimal lead. So it's a targeted optimal lead, like for example how Facebook ads can target the right people to buy your product, and then the cost of the ad increases. That's what I mean with the audience that you have and how optimal those leads are for you to sell an info product to. And then I'll also be showing this. I have a lot of charts which you can place yourself on. Green, simple, good, yellow, okay, and red is bad. Just to get all of that out of the way. And so let's look at the first thing, and that is the base value. Now your base value is the amount of views you get. Then you add shorts onto that, but you divide shorts by either 10 or 100. Now this depends on the type of content you make, and I can't say for sure because I can't see your channel right now, but that is your base value. Shorts really don't count for much. That's why you wouldn't do really a lot of harm if you subtract them from this calculation altogether. And then we look at it monthly. So that's how you get your base value. This can go up to 3 months depending on how often you upload. But if we do it in the monthly range, then we can see the amount of monthly views, and that is a good base value to focus on, where if you get it up, you will make more sales, especially if you have good multipliers. Another note I want to give is that shorts really are only for directing to long form content because that's what converts best. And for most people, I suggest just staying away from shorts because it can really ruin your channel statistics. So focus on long form primarily and only use shorts if you really know how to direct the people who watch your shorts to your long form content. This is the first multiplier, and it is in the similar niche as the base value. And this multiplier is simply educational versus entertainment. So the style of your videos. Here you have your only informational. So if you make it too informational, then you're in the red zone because people won't be likely to stay engaged with the things you're saying. If you add a little bit of entertainment, you're in the green zone. On the other side, you have green zone for only entertainment, but then you're really focusing more on selling something like a Netflix subscription instead of selling an info product. So what I want you to do every time I show you one of these is I want you to position yourself somewhere on this chart with the channel that you have. Then let's look at the next multiplier, and that is niche. How many people talk about your niche? And to figure out how many people do, just summarize your niche in the least words possible. Then look it up on YouTube or whatever platform you are on. And if a lot of people show up, then you are in the red ocean. But if few people show up, or it's only you who shows up, then you're in the blue ocean. The way you have to look at it is, this is a business term that is used to describe how crowded a market is, how many people are fighting over the same things, where a red ocean is where there's blood in the sea because so many people have been fishing, and a blue ocean is where nobody's really there, so you can fish calmly on your own and you don't have to compete with that many people. Because take the fitness niche, for example. This is a very broad niche, which is very red. It's very much in the red part of the ocean. But take fitness for postpartum women who want to gain muscle. That is a lot more niche, and here we're looking more in the blue to this switch right here. So you want to position yourself somewhere along this chart. Now, as you can see, if you go too niche, that means that there really isn't that much of an audience for you to sell to. That's why you don't want to exaggerate the type of content you make. So this would be something like fitness for postpartum women who want to train their neck muscles. That's very specific, and it is way too niche to be able to really sell something on. While on the other hand, you have, if you go really niche like fitness, there's a lot of people who have a fitness problem, and they'll focus on the things you say for the next reasons that I'm about to give. So position yourself somewhere on this chart. That way you have an idea of your multiplier on the niche chart. And what I was gonna say here is personality. So they buy from you, so the people who watch your videos buy from you because they like you and you are like them. That's why this works. So if you have a good multiplier on personality, then you can function in a red ocean. The way you have to look at it is this. Either people know everything about me where you're in this green zone, or people know nothing about you where you're here, but there's a gray zone, and I want to give you an idea of what that is. Take Alex Harmozy, for example. Some of you may know him. He's a business content creator. Now, nobody really knows that much about him. We just hear him talk about the information, but nothing too personal. We don't know much about him. People aren't even sure about his height. Another person you could put into this category is Mr. Beast. People, again, don't know much about him, and he could be in this gray zone, but some drama got him involved where he was showing politics, and that put him in the red zone because people started to disassociate from him. And that's what I want to get into here, is certainty about somebody's beliefs creates a form of loyalty, but generality makes it so that people start projecting themselves onto you. So they want to see the relevances, and they might start projecting things onto you. Now what happens if those projections are broken because they reveal to you that you either have a similar political position as them, or that you are on the other side, and I'm using politics as an example. This breaks the projection, and for some of your audience they like it, for some others they don't. And so I want to ask you a question. What are my political beliefs, and do I even have them? Just answer that question and tell me what you think my political beliefs are. Have an answer? Good. Let's look at the next question. What are your political beliefs, and do you even have them? And now I have a final question for you, and that is, how close are yours and mine? So the ones you think I have and the ones that you have, how close are they? If you like me and you like my content, then you probably say that they are very close. That's you projecting your beliefs onto me. I have never disclosed anything about politics in one of my videos, and I plan to keep it that way. But my point is, people will eventually start projecting onto you if you hide. But if I were to say, oh, I'm this side, or I'm this side, or I don't have any beliefs, that could shatter your image, and that could make it so that a lot of people disassociate from you just for a polarizing topic like politics. And so what happens when I reveal my political beliefs or any other polarizing topic? That means that the projection breaks or enhances. So either you tell them everything about you or you tell them nothing. That's why I want to get back to this chart. You can see Alex Harmozy is in the gray zone. He's playing it very safe. But Mr. Beast went out. He got into the red zone. He lost a lot of his audience because of the political things that he has said. The next thing I want to get into is growth. This is another multiplier. It's also an indicator. So yes, growth predicts your future sales, because if you see your channel growing, that means that you will probably make a lot more money in the future from the info product that you are selling. But it is also an indicator to the loyalty your audience has and to the quality of your videos or of the content, because good content will often outperform the channel, and that is your views to subs ratio. So if you get 60,000 views on a video but you only have 50,000 subscribers, that means that YouTube thinks that video is better than what your channel is. So short form content may deliver growth, but that growth is mostly worthless. So I only want you to focus on the long form content. So only focus on those metrics if you're trying to sell something. Growth is also skill-based matchmaking, and I'll show you what I mean. And another thing I want to say is that you need to have a follower sample size of about 10,000 to make this accurate to your example. So we can take a level 5 video and a level 50 video. This is how they rank, and YouTube is going to rank them based on what YouTube thinks the value is, or maybe any other social media platform that you use. So let's say that this video was a 5, but then all of a sudden it blew up because it got relevance. Then it started to rank higher, so YouTube made it rank higher. And that's how you have to see it. It's really skill-based matchmaking as to the value of a video, and that's how you're being pushed out. For those of you who don't know what skill-based matchmaking is, it is a term used in video games to make it so that people have fair fights when they go against each other. Another thing is this stock market quote, which is everything is priced in. The value of your video is priced in depending on the amount of views you get. The amount of views you get reflect the value of the video. Again, you have to keep the niche in mind, but in general, it reflects the value and quality of the content that you put out. And so I want you to put yourself on the scale again. Look at the average for the content that you uploaded this month. If the average is the same as your channel subscribers, then you're in the green zone. But if you go up, again, that's better. We're at 10x or plus. If you're below, then you're in the yellow zone, because it is really hard to consistently average or go above average with the videos that you make. And if you're at this range or further down, then your channel is dying or dead. And that's really how you have to look at this multiplier, where you can kind of get an idea of the money that you're going to make. Next, let's look at something that's in the same category, and that is the value that you provide. This is a simple question, and you really have to try and be as unbiased as possible. I know it's hard, especially since it's your own content, but you have to put yourself on the scale where either your content gets people to their goals in the most effective ways, which makes it so you're all the way here, or the content is pretty much a waste of time. Again, this is another multiplier. You have to put yourself on that scale somewhere. Then let's look at the next thing, and that is the reactions. So I'm talking about the reactions that you get on your content. And in particular, you want to look at the directionality of those reactions. And an example would be something like, what about if X and Y then get seed by alpha? That is the complexity of a comment that's being made on your content. And these are like the lawyer or mathematician or theologian style comments. Now, it doesn't have to be in that niche, but the idea I'm trying to get you to understand is that how theologians have this very difficult process for applying laws to certain things that happen and all this. The complexity of a comment means that people are really engaging with the topic and with your content. And on the other side, you have the slop-like farmers, and these are comments like, we got X before GTA 6. And just look at your comments and position yourself somewhere on the scale to look at this last multiplier where you can put yourself and use that as a predictor to how much money you will make. So that is it for this video. If this video was helpful, then like and subscribe. And if you're a content creator and you want me to help you in creating and scaling an info product, or you just want to know why I make these videos, then click the first link in the description.